kick.
What's up YouTube? It's your boy Food Stamps once again, and today I'm bringing the game a TDM using the commando with the dual mag setup using the sleight of hand, and I really like that setup. A lot of people say it's a pointless setup because dual mag and sleight of hand are kind of, they kind of cancel each other out, but I just dig this setup because the reload time is just so fast for for any weapon that you use it with. So for me, I like the setup. Some people say it's pointless, but personally I love the setup. So this game I go 42-6, and there was this one guy in the game that just seemed to have my number the whole game. And those games where no matter how good you're doing, there's just one guy that just seems to be able to kill you, and sometimes it has to deal with connection host. He might have a better connection than you, or maybe he just has a better reaction time than you. Either way, he had my number this game, which is all good because I threw up 42-6, which is a pretty good score in TDM, so I'm not complaining. So this game, I'm going to attempt to tell you about the first time that I ever got baked. I got stoned off marijuana. So before I start the story, I don't condone smoking weed, but I'd be a hypocrite if I said don't smoke marijuana, because I did smoke weed for multiple years, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't have many good times while I was baked with friends, or just even at school. Yeah, I went to school baked a lot during high school. Because I wasn't big. I wasn't a big fan of high school, so I got baked a lot, and that was later on when I wasn't really doing a lot of sports, which I was really into when I was younger. So the way this story starts is my uncle came into town, and he was 41 at the time, and he was single, so he liked to party, and he liked to drink a lot and smoke. And when I say smoke, I meant like smoking weed, smoking marijuana. So he liked to smoke, and I knew this, and that was right around the same time that I was getting interested in it. And my friends at the time, when I was younger, they actually started smoking marijuana before me, and even in grade 6 they started. I had a couple friends that were doing it then, so I was around the influence of it, but I just chose not to do it because I felt like it wouldn't benefit me, because I was into hockey. I played hockey for like 9 years. I did lacrosse for 9 years, and I was really active, so I didn't feel like it would benefit me at all. And I was like, nah, say no to drugs. Those signs like say no to drugs, this is your brain on drugs, like that. That's what kind of got me, and that's why I said no to the drugs at the time. But like around grade 9 is when I tried it for the first time, and I was hanging out with this girl, and she was a bit of a pothead. So like I was around that influence a lot, and I just decided this one weekend when my uncle was into town, I'd go into his bag, and I grabbed some of the weed that he had in his bag, his greenery bag, as I used to like to call it. I got my greens. Where's my greenery bag? So I took a little bit out of there, and I think I took about 2.5 grams, which isn't a lot, but for the first time when you smoke it, you don't have that tolerance built up to the drug itself, so it is quite a bit. And what I did when I got the weed out of my uncle's bag, I put it in this little container, and it was like a little mini M&M's container. I don't know if you remember them. They were like tall and skinny. So I put it in that, and then I grabbed his pipe, and then I ended up calling my buddy Jake up, and I was like, Jake, because Jake was always down to have a good time, and we always got into trouble and stuff together. So I was like, Jake, I got something for us. Come over to my house. And he's like, okay man, I'm coming. And this was at like 9:30 at night, and I was like, hey mom, I'm going out for a bike ride. And she looked at me like, going for a bike ride? Because I hadn't said it in a while, like going for a bike ride. Like, I was a little bit older, and I hadn't said that in a long time. But she's just like, whatever, get out of here, because like, my uncle was in town, and my mom gets stressed out when there's company, and so she's like, get out of here, one less person in here to stress me out. So I was like, okay, I'm out of here. So I met my buddy Jake down the street from my house, and we went to this school, and we climbed this fence, and we were sitting between these two garbage cans for about an hour and a half, smoking this 2.5 grams of weed. And in a small little baby pipe 2.5 grams takes a while to smoke. So we were sitting there for, you know, a good hour, hour and a half, and you know, like it was funny because when you're sitting in the dark, you don't really realize, you know, the effects of a drug like alcohol, marijuana, when you're sitting in the dark until you get into a lit up area, and then you kind of feel it. You're like, damn, okay, so I'm feeling it. I don't know why I wasn't feeling it before. It's like the dark, you just don't really notice it. So we got out of there and we climbed the fence back, and we were walking down this path, and this path probably took us about 10 minutes to walk down, but in reality it felt like it took us an hour, and it looked like a jungle to us because they had these crazy trees and stuff. And to this day, when we say jungle, you're like, do you remember the jungle? We'll look at each other and we'll be like, yeah, I remember the jungle. So, you know, we walked through this jungle and it felt like an hour, but you know, when we were walking, it felt like when I was looking, it felt like my eyes were in my stomach, sort of the way I was looking. It felt like, you know, I was looking out of my stomach. That's the best way I can describe the feeling. But you know, we left the jungle, we got closer to my house, and there was this wood pile, and there was this cat sitting right by the wood pile, right like below this street light, and it looked like a spotlight, and that's the only area that was lit up. And this cat sat there and stared at us for, I don't know, maybe like 10-15 minutes, and we were just sitting there like tripping out, you know, like, so because we were super baked at the time, so, you know, this cat was just like really bugging us out. So I was like, man, I gotta go, this cat's tripping me out. I gotta go home. And I was feeling hungry, I got the munchies, so I got up and the cat kind of ran away. And then, you know, I stood up and I couldn't find the pipe or like the little amount of weed that we had left, because we had just a tiny bit left. And to this day we still say that cat stole our pipe and our weed, because, you know, I had it when I sat down, but, you know, I probably dropped it somewhere. Like, obviously the cat didn't steal it, but we still say, like, you know, that cat stole our pipe, because it's just a funny story, you know. So I went home, I munched out, and I passed out, and, you know, it was a good time. First time smoking weed with my buddy. You know, I mean, if you're gonna try it in, like, you know, with somebody that you're comfortable with. If you're gonna try it, I wouldn't recommend it, but, you know, I had a good time, and I hope you guys enjoyed that story. A couple of videos ago I said if you make it to this point in the video, I want you to leave a comment below. And the comment below I want you guys to leave is dirty water hot dogs. And the guy, the Monster Crew, he left that comment for me below. So I'm gonna be putting his channel in the top of my sub box for a whole month. And I said that in the video. I'm gonna pick a you know, like a comment down below that I think is kind of funny, a little witty, and, you know, it just caught my attention. So, you know what, expect to see that Monster Crew at the top of my sub box, and you know, I'll be doing a little bit of a giveaway kind of like that in the near future. Thank you guys for watching. I'm out of here.